All right, hey everybody. I wanted to do a video today about Love is Blind. It's a show I watch. I'm not proud of it, but started watching around when COVID started, and it's been watching it ever since. I usually think I'm not going to watch the next season and then run out of stuff to watch and put that on, and then I get hooked cuz it's crazy. But I just want to talk about some of the couples on the show that I just like. This season seems like the cast of men on it are terrible. Like in the past, I feel like you got some men, some women aren't very good. This one seems like it's a lot of the men just have some issues going on now. Um Looking online and at certain things, there are some people like who don't like the Tim and Alex, I think is her name. I can't even remember some of their names to be honest, but Tim and Alex, I think. And or is it Tim and Ashley? Whoever is the girl name with Tim. A lot of people like don't like either one of them, but I'm going to start with probably the most awkward, and I'm glad that they just got rid of him at the very beginning. Was Leo and Brittany. Like that one was just super awkward. First with Leo, like basically bragging about the amount of money he makes, and then on the other side saying I don't want to be with someone who only wants to be with me for my money, which I think is absolutely like understandable. If you have money, I'm sure a lot of people are worried about someone just being with them. Oh, I want someone with the money, get married, divorce them, get half their money if they don't sign a prenup, or just someone who doesn't really care about the person, they just the lifestyle that can be provided. I understand that. But he's going around telling everybody how rich he is, and so that was annoying from the get-go. Then he's got Hannah and Brittany, which I mean, I don't know about that one, but basically he's just, to me, he's all about his, not his physical appearance, but how he's going to be portrayed. Because when essentially Hannah comes back and tells him like, "Look, I'm done. Like this is over with us. I'm going to be with Nick." He's like, "Oh, can you just do me a favor and tell Brittany that it was a mutual decision?" And not only that, but he was pretending like, "Yeah, no, that I was going to pick Brittany anyways." Like trying to control the narrative so he doesn't look like he got rejected. And once Brittany, which I do understand, because if you're gonna marry someone, quote unquote, uh, you want them to not always be having those doubts that they were the second choice or whatever. So I do understand like that mindset, but he's just trying to control how things look. Like he didn't get rejected. They both mutually agreed to end it so they could be with the person that they really love. So right then I'm like, this guy's a weirdo. And then I thought Brittany would like reject him, especially how it started off, and then all of a sudden he proposes and she says yes. So I was like, this is not gonna work. I already knew it wasn't gonna work. I thought it might go a little bit longer than it actually did, but I feel like after they met, super awkward. Like it seemed like Leo was, trying to get some affection or some physical touch, and she just didn't seem like she was feeling it at all. It was just awkward. Like I understand you don't know these people, so there is going to be a little bit of awkwardness there, but that was too much. I think I fast forwarded through some of it because it was just too much for me. And then they talk about going to Miami, and then they broke up, which was not a shock, so they were not part of the show. Next couple was that I don't like Ramses. I feel like he's trying to come off as this super progressive man, not toxic masculinity and all that. If you even, however you feel about that, that's not the topic here. But trying to pretend like he's just this, not your typical man. And he, I think he's been judged probably because he doesn't come off as, a man. And I just have to say, his hair to me, I know it's not a big deal, but it's just so stupid. Like the little two hanging uh, locks or whatever you want to call it. It's so stupid. I just wish someone would cut his hair off. But he's portraying himself as this one way, and then first, before I even get it more into that, is like you're with someone who you knew was in the military. And I understand if you are like against war. I feel like not many people love war, or not many people join the military to go and kill. You know, they're doing it to better their life or to serve their country. And the woman you pick is proud that she served in the military. You know, like she does admit she had her second thoughts and she felt bad about certain things, but overall she supports the troops, she said, and she had second thoughts about possibly going to the reserves. And he was like, basically, like, yeah, I wouldn't be able to marry you if you did that. And then also when they're talking to their friends, coming off as like, oh well, uh, just my morals. Like, I almost seemed like he was morally superior. But you know, like I said, I think he's from Venezuela actually. So you know, he said that he's been on the other side, which I do get it. But you came to America, you know, so why, you know, you have to understand that the military is a part of, I feel like, part of American culture. So how are you going to be with a woman who is proud, and you almost make her feel bad about it, you know? That's how it comes off. So I didn't like that. Felt like he was kind of being judgy and whatever. Like, if she would have never told him she was in the military and then found out later, then have an issue. But you knew she was in the military. He does say he wanted to make it more than just the military thing. He wanted to give her a broad thing. And he no, he says he loves her and he's sure they're gonna get married and all those things. But you know, I didn't like that. I felt like he was being very judgmental. Then the issue that I really have is, so I think once she was like, it was during her period, and she just wasn't in a great mood. She wasn't feeling like it. And I think it didn't actually show it, but I think he was wanting to, you know, have sex or something, and just wasn't going to happen. And he was kind of upset about it, acting like he doesn't understand. Like, you've been married before. I mean, I'm sure I know this is not the first woman you've been with. So like, he seemed a little like just asking some questions, like he was so confused or something. I don't understand that. And then the biggest issue I have with him is like, she's saying that now she wants to have kids, I think within 3 years, and originally it's supposed to be five or more, and he was saying five minimum. So he doesn't seem like he's in a rush to have children. I think that's going to be an issue. But also at the same time, she's like, well, I really don't want to do birth control. And he's like, wants her to do birth control, but he's trying to be progressive and like, oh, you know, I don't want to, you know, obviously I can't make you do these things. I don't want you to do anything you don't want to do, but, you know, I don't want kids right away. And it's like, well, you can wear a condom. And then he's upset and like, oh, well, sex needs to be enjoyable to me. And I don't enjoy sex with a condom. So it's like, are you really as progressive as you're acting? Because you don't seem like it. Like, at the end of the day, you want her just to take the birth control, even though a condom is just the easy way to go, you know? Like, that way she didn't have to do birth control. I know it sometimes alters things with women, and a condom is just easier. So are you so progressive and such a feminist that you want to make her get birth control still? So he just comes off as kind of like a hypocrite to me. It's like, you've been married before, and I think you should know what it takes to make a marriage work. But other than those issues, they seem to be like good. But I will say, I don't see them, if they get to the altar, which so far it looks like they are on their way there. We got to wait till the 23rd for it to see those episodes. But I don't think they're gonna go through with the marriage. To me, it feels like some of their core values aren't exactly lining up. So I could be wrong. We'll see in a few weeks. But I'm not a big fan of his. Next, I'm gonna go to Nick and Hannah just real quick because I don't have a lot to say about them. But I just feel like Hannah, in this situation, I have more of an issue with Hannah. So I know at the beginning I said the men were kind of like, you know, just terrible. But Nick and Hannah, to me, she was one way in the pods. Then she comes out, and I understand with being in a marriage, you have to have like a foundation. You need to have like, you know, you're working to get married, so you need to say what's the things you need. But she's just like basically just trying to control him a lot, it seems like, what he does, how he does it. And I get he does seem a little immature. Like, still lives at home with his parents. I think he's 28. Parents pay most of his bills. I think he just pays like, maybe his car insurance or something. I don't even remember. He doesn't pay a lot of bills, but so I get it. You want to make sure that this man you're about to marry is like, mature enough to be in a marriage and understand the seriousness that comes with it. Like, adult relationships, they are serious. Like when you're a teenager and you're with someone, you're not living together unless it's extraordinary circumstances, but you're not really having to pay bills. But when you're like in a real relationship as an adult, you take care of that other person, they're supposed to take care of you. You got rent, bills, all these things that come in, so you want to make sure they're mature. But she just seems like on him so much, like that he can't even be comfortable. Like if he asks a question, he's being judged. Like, you don't know how to boil pasta. And some things, like, yeah, you should know how to do certain things especially at a certain age. But if they don't know, making them feel bad about it is not going to make the situation better. It's going to make it worse, really, in my opinion. Um, and then she's over here just like telling him, I took you from a boy to a man. Like, I do understand your partner should elevate you. They should push you to be better. But she was just doing too much. The garbage situation, like, I feel like as soon as there's some garbage in there, she wants him to take it out. It's like, let it fill up. He said he took it out, whatever, whatever. But she's doing too much. And then they got in a little mini argument kind of about the whole him and his pod ex, Katie, who apparently is Hannah's best friend in the world, as she claims, even though you just met her at the beginning of the show. So I don't know how she's your best friend in the world, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm more like, are you mad that your best friend was all over your fiance and telling you how hot he was? Or are you mad at him? And he did say, like, what are you mad at me for? Why don't you go talk to her about it? I think he should have been more like understanding, but also just directed that to her. Like, are you upset with me, or are you upset with your best friend for what she said? Because if you are, I can listen and understand, but I didn't do anything wrong, so I don't understand if you're upset with me. What's the point? He didn't really, like, he was drunk, you could tell still, so he probably wasn't in his right mind. But I don't think he handled that situation great. But it seemed to smooth out, and then all of a sudden you see that she's the one cutting it off with him. So that's another one that was like, okay, I didn't think their relationship was terrible, and I didn't think that Nick was just some horrible guy like the rest of some of these people are. But next we have Tyler and Ashley. Now, to be honest, their relationship really looked perfect. Before certain things came out, I really believed that this was the relationship that was going to last for sure. Like them, and then Garrett and Taylor, who I'll get to soon. I thought they would be like probably the top two couples that make it and can make it work. But then it comes out that she finds out that he has 3 kids. So, I'm thinking, how the hell do you hide 3 kids? Like, why didn't you tell her in the pods? Which is what she's thinking too. But then she's like, basically saying he was a sperm donor. So, and he's not in touch with, he was just doing his lesbian friends, I believe, helping them out, doing them a favor by, donating his sperm. So that's how he made it seem. And she's like, okay, do you have any contact with the kids? Well, do they not even know what you look like? He's saying, no. So they kind of smooth it over. Now on TikTok, there's stuff coming out about pictures on Instagram, Facebook, like him doing things with the kids, him with them, one of the mothers of the kids for Christmas, like matching pajamas. Like, so you clearly lied about the kids don't know what you look like. Now, could it be that you're just around those kids? They don't know that you're the father. You're just like a fun uncle, or someone cool to hang out with who takes, like, maybe they don't know that he's the father, maybe. But you clearly lied about them knowing. And it definitely seems like you are a very active father. And then there's another claim. Now, all this is alleged, because I don't know if it's true or not, obviously. But that he has to pay like $30,000 in child support. That definitely sounds like someone who's not just a sperm donor. So That's a huge thing because honestly, Tyler, I thought he was a good guy. And if this is true, it's just like, damn, he's out here. Another person probably just here. I don't know for what. Like, you just drop your kids. If you were active and then you just drop them and say, no, I'm just a sperm donor, essentially. That's like, I got no respect for a man who would do that to his 3 kids, not like one kid, which is crazy enough to think you donated sperm 3 times and got 3 kids. Obviously, however many times you donated sperm, but they were able to get 3 kids out of it. That's a little, fishy in the first place. Now, admittedly, I don't know much about sperm donation and all that stuff. I don't know how it works. But if this information has not, which I don't believe it does, because the show was filmed obviously previously. So I do believe that Tyler and Ashley will get married. I do think if this information comes out, they will get a divorce, because I just don't see how you could be with someone who is so easily, either they lied straight to your face and like, yeah, I do have a relationship with my children, but then to deny those kids, like, to me, no respect. So I don't get how Ashley could actually stay married to him. I'm assuming that they are going to go down to the altar, because as of the last episode, they had they jumped out the plane together. Everything was fine. They already talked about the donation, the sperm donation, all that stuff. So if the rest of this is true, I would be shocked if by the time the reunion happens that they are still married, because that's just so disrespectful, and I have no respect for Tyler. If this is true, like I said, I don't want to judge him and it turns out this was all a lie, but as of right now, how it looks, no respect for him. So we'll see what happens with them. Next couple, since I already brought them up, was Tyler and Garrett. Now Taylor and Garrett. Now I do believe is a good couple. Everything seemed to be going fine. Little hiccups here and there with having to move. He wants to be around his parents for his future kids' sake, which I understand. But that's stuff that they have to work on, and I'm sure that's going to be fine. Now, the most recent episode shows basically, maybe it's the most recent episode, maybe the one right before it, but shows that his ex texts him, and he told Taylor about it. He just said he just liked the message, and she was upset. Like, you should have told her, you have a fiance and you're in a happy relationship. Just cut it off. Don't just like it and leave it as ignoring her and all that stuff. Like, just put an end to it. He's apologizing, like, okay, I'm sorry, I should have done that. Then they go inside. They're talking about it with Ashley and Tyler. And then he's saying, yeah, I messaged her and, told her I had a fiance. So he's adding on to the story when just however long before they were outside, he's telling Taylor that he only liked the message. So why would you lie about it? And then he's acting like he doesn't understand the difference between just liking it and responding. Just why lie? So she's been cheated on before, so this is a huge red flag for her. It does seem like she gets over it, because they do go to meet the parents and everything still the next day. But that was just like a stupid, if it was just a mistake, it's how can you make that type of mistake? Either you messaged her and cut it off, or you just liked it, but why lie about it? So some people do stupid lies, and it's like, why would you do that? But other than that, I think they're in a good place. I haven't heard anything new about that situation, so I'm assuming that was the end of that. I do believe that they will get married, and I think they can make it work. It's a couple, probably because of the whole Tyler and Ashley situation. This is the only couple I see by reunion time actually staying married. Like, they're happily married still. So we'll see what happens with that. He made a dumb decision. I don't even want to call it mistake, because I don't understand that one at all. But I don't think it's anything they can't get through. So that relationship I do have a lot of faith in. Now, this is when I believe I was talking about at the beginning with Tim, and like I said, I cannot for the life of me. I think her name is Alex, but it might be Ashley also. But I'm just gonna say Tim and his girl for now. It just makes to me, night 2, I believe, of the them being in Mexico, he's already ready to leave. He left the hotel room. At least he was staying in another spot because of whatever happened. Like, I don't know what happened because they didn't show it. They discussed it. If she did put her hand over his mouth while he was trying to talk, that would be very irritating. And you know, I just that I understand being upset, but he seems too quick to want to leave. Now, you came on this show to meet somebody, and not even just meet somebody, but to get married. Essentially, like that's what you're there for. She has the mindset, I want to take this experiment all the way to the end, like work through whatever. I guess if you see things that is truly, truly just like too much for you to deal with, then okay. But I don't, he seems too quick to want to cut it. So they talk, they work through it, and then, things are cool, I guess, until it's time to meet his parents. So from what it seems like, he's telling her, my parents drove 10 hours, and then you just go to sleep. Now, from what they say, they spent 4 hours together. She took an hour long nap or went to sleep for like an hour or something. But he felt, I guess, disrespected by this. And then on top of that, their communication through text wasn't exactly what he wanted it to be or something, because she also fell asleep when he had called her at one point for an hour. And it's like, if you're really, and he tells her, I never want to see you again. I never want to talk to you again. I think he is just doing way too much. Like, you're ready. You're looking for a reason to leave. I don't think, like, again, we didn't see because they say this happened off camera, her going to sleep. But, like, are you really ready to drop her? Like, apparently he is ready to drop her because he did. But, like, I feel like that's a problem with the people nowadays. Relationships are not going to be perfect. And people have breaking points, abuse, cheating, stuff like that. I understand those things. Addictions, those things are tough things to overcome. But, maybe he's just thinking, I already know this is not going to work, so I'm going to get out now. But to me, and like I say, it's just my opinion, it's not that big of a deal for him to just be up and ready to quit already. Like, I think if you're trying to get married, you work through things, and I don't think she did anything, but I'm not in that position, so apparently it was for him. But another one is like, are you really on the show to fall in love and get married, or are you on the show looking for something different? Like, no one's gonna be perfect. So for him to kind of drop her like that, I didn't really like that. I just think he gave up way too easy. Now online, I'm seeing a lot of people don't like her as well, and they say that she did a lot of wrong. From what I saw, I didn't have an issue with her. But Tim, just from even in the pod, I got just a strange vibe from him. I wasn't really feeling him, but so that's another couple that dropped. So we already have, obviously, Leo and Brittany don't even make it to the Mexico part. Like, they didn't even include them. Nick and Hannah, they make it to, like, trying on the tux and wedding dress that day, but they don't actually go through into that. She cuts it off, and then Tim calls it off. Next couple I want to discuss is Monica and Steven. Now, Steven, to me, is just an idiot. I don't like him. Really, from the moment they were all hanging out and there was the fireworks going on, and he was like talking to Garrett, and Monica's like, hey, let's go watch the fireworks, and he doesn't go out there. He wants to keep talking, and it's just like, whatever. But then right after that, he's talking to, I think it was talking to Taylor about like, oh, well, there's a lot of women out there. They're going to see us on TV and they're going to do this. Like, he's just talking about basically women are probably going to be throwing themselves at him, or all the men who are there, but he's talking about himself specifically. And he's like, they're going to be offering to do all types of things, sexual things, So right then I'm like, this is super weird to be talking about this. Like, you're on it's not a honeymoon, but you're on like a vacation with the person you're supposed to get married, and you're already talking about what's going to happen in the real world with some random women. That rubbed me the wrong way, like, immediately. Then on top of it, I think Monica's telling him like, oh, like I need flowers and I want, basically she likes to be taken care of. Like that's her love language is gifts. So, and he starts getting like, oh man, this is just too much, like already acting like he doesn't think he can handle getting married. So right then, I think she should have been like, you don't see, like, if this is too much, me asking you for flowers and stuff, then this is a huge red flag. Like, how is that too much? Then he does something nice, takes her to a place where they make their own flowers when they get back and stuff. Then all of a sudden, you see Taylor is there consoling Monica because Steven was out all night at a sleep apnea test or something, and texting some girl and like sexually texting her. Oh, and before this, she was basically saying she's kind of like pulled back a little bit from Steven because she doesn't feel like he's all in after his whole thing about this might be too much. Like this is a lot to handle, so she's kind of pulling back. Sorry, I thought I heard someone coming. And so he's just saying how like it's important for him and stuff like that. Then I don't know, and they make it seem like the next night, then he's over here not accused because he did it, texting some other woman. He's like, you know what, I'm just going to leave you alone, never deal with me again, blah, blah, blah. And he lost his job, which I get, you get laid off and stuff. So I'm like, damn, going into a marriage, you already got, laid off. That one didn't see, but Steven is just an idiot too. Like, I thought he seemed cool at first, really. And then slowly he's just like red flag, red flag. I'm like, I don't like this guy either. So I've hit on them. Who else is left? We got, I already talked about Ramses. I talked about Tyler and then Garrett. I think that was all the couples. There might be someone I'm leaving out. Let me see. Tim, they didn't make it. Hannah and Nick, I talked about them. They didn't make it. And then Steven and dumbass didn't, they ruined it too. So I think I touched on all the 6 couples because there's 3 going to the end. 3 did not make it. And I think, truthfully, after everything, if everything's true, the only couple by reunion time who I believe is going to be together still is Taylor and Garrett. I'll look at Ashley way different if she stays married, if the information is true and she stays married to him, because anyone who's just going to deny their kids just so they can go on TV and like, I don't like that. I don't respect it. It's just really weird to me. So I don't think they'll be married by the time the reunion happens, but we'll see. I'd be shocked, and I would lose some respect for Ashley as well. I already lost respect for Tyler if this is true. So that, I don't think they'll be together. And then the last couple who looks like they're on their way to get married is Ramses. I think him or his lady, I can't remember her name right now either, are going to, they're going to say no at the altar. I don't think they're going to go through with it because it seems like focused on sex and what his needs are, that I feel like things aren't going great. And then on the last episode, something comes up. They don't really tell us what it is, but something comes up. So I don't really believe they're going to even make it to the altar. If they do, they're not going to get married. I would be willing to bet on that one. And then, yeah, those are the 3 couples. So like I said, I do think 2 couples will get married. And then by the time the reunion happens, only one of those couples will still be happily married, I believe, if the information is true about Tyler and his kids, because that's huge. So that's going to be my predictions. That's going to be all for this one. I will make another one probably next week after the weddings happen, and we'll see if I'm right about everyone making, all the 3 couples at least making it to the altar, and the one who I believe is going to say no at the altar. I'm interested to see what happens. So if you like this video, I'm going to be making a lot more about, Love is Blind. I'm going to make some about other TV shows that I like and enjoy, but like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.